This week, the Middle East crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. Israel struck deep inside Syria. Iran tested Israel's defenses. Hezbollah suffered a humiliation it cannot ignore. Hamas is collapsing underground. And inside Israel, a parallel battle is unfolding across courts, politics, and the military itself. This is the full picture. This is the war behind the headlines. This is Shield of Truth. Earlier this week, the IDF executed a strategic, high-risk strike in Syria, targeting a senior Iranian-linked terror commander. The mission was successful, but during the extraction phase, the vehicle carrying Israeli forces crashed, killing several soldiers. Iran rushed to claim responsibility, but the IDF confirmed immediately the casualties were caused by an operational accident, not enemy fire. Israel paid a heavy price, but the objective was achieved. Once again, Israel proved it can reach any point in Syria, while Iran cannot protect its assets. On November 29th, a major development shook Lebanon. Israel located a secret meeting between Hamas and Hezbollah commanders inside Beirut's Dahieh district. A precise IDF strike eliminated multiple senior operatives. Lebanese outlets now confirm this was one of Israel's most significant blows this year. Hezbollah is deciding whether to escalate or swallow the humiliation. The northern border remains on high alert. Meanwhile, Iran launched dozens of fighter jets in a simulated strike path toward Israel. Israel tracked every movement. Intelligence confirms it was psychological warfare, a show of force by a regime under immense internal pressure. Wildfires in Mazandaran, severe water shortages, economic collapse, and rising discussions inside Tehran about withdrawing from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. A weakened Iran is more dangerous, not less. Inside Gaza, Hamas is breaking. New intelligence confirms that between 60 and 80 terrorists are trapped in the Rafah tunnels. Many have died from dehydration. Others died trying to escape. Their commander is trapped underground with them. 5 terrorists surrendered this week and are being interrogated by the Shin Bet. Food and water are nearly gone. The tunnels are split into isolated sections with no movement possible. Hamas fighters now face 2 choices: surrender or die. The IDF continues closing in from all directions. Inside Israel, another war is raging, a war inside the system itself. Judges, prosecutors, and senior officials are accused of blocking investigations tied to October 7th. Public pressure grows by the day. Investigative journalist Guy Peleg admitted in court that his defamation report against a senior figure was based on inaccurate information, blaming memory issues. The scandal raises new concerns about coordinated media manipulation. A new spy case shocked the country. 21-year-old Raphael Rouveni from Beersheva was arrested for spying for Iran. He photographed secure locations, smuggled devices, and followed instructions from Iranian handlers to hide weapons. Israel continues to uncover internal threats hidden in plain sight. At the same time, Israel police launched a sweeping crackdown on loan sharking networks tied to organized crime. 56 suspects were arrested, 23 million shekels seized, along with firearms, luxury vehicles, cryptocurrency, and tactical gear. Police warned, loan sharking fuels violent criminal empires. This strike hit the financial heart of organized crime. But Israeli law enforcement faces its own internal collapse. Karen Bar Menachem, head of the Police Internal Investigations Department, announced her resignation amid accusations of blocking corruption probes and internal warfare. Her deputy is also implicated. Israel's law enforcement hierarchy is shaking from within. In the West Bank, violence surged again. Jewish shepherds were attacked near Migdalim and Rodam. Firebombs were thrown at buses on Route 60. IDF forces launched a full-night sweep of Nablus area villages, searching for weapons and militants. One reservist was moderately wounded in the firefight. The West Bank remains a volatile battlefield. Across the world, major developments unfold. U.S. intelligence confirms covert activity aimed at destabilizing Venezuela's Maduro regime. Australia will force Meta to delete all accounts belonging to users under 16. a global precedent in the fight against digital exploitation. And Iran's covert flights to Eritrea raise fresh alarms. Back home, President Isaac Herzog honored Gilad Gilboa Dalal for bravely revealing the sexual violence he suffered under Hamas captivity. His testimony exposes the barbarity Israel continues to fight. Israel today faces threats on every front, from Iran, Hamas, and Hezbollah, from criminal networks, from internal corruption, and from a global arena shifting by the hour. But one truth remains unchanged. Israel is unbreakable. Israel is resolute. Israel will prevail. The exit of terrorists from the Rafah Yellow Line tunnel shafts and the surrender of some proves that an effective siege works. Instead of sending soldiers into death tunnels, the simplest and safest method is a long, sustained siege. If Israel's leadership had adopted this from the start, evacuating civilians first and then tightening the siege, many lives would have been saved. And for those who claim a siege is impossible because of international pressure, Israel already did it. For 6 weeks after October 7th, the siege worked. Then Israel caved and resumed supplies. War has rules, and in Gaza, the most effective method is siege until surrender. If the enemy starves, they release hostages. It is tragic Israel is learning this lesson 2 years later, after hundreds have fallen. A reminder from analyst Hananel Aviv. Syria has always been an enemy state. Most residents, including many minorities, do not support Israel. Sunni rebel and Salafi groups in Daraa, Quneitra, and the Bashan region want to open a front against Israel, step by step. Syrian Sunni channels are now openly calling for jihad against IDF fighters in the Bashan, urging shootings, IED attacks, and anti-tank ambushes. These groups use the same tactics to devastate Assad's army for years. They can do it again, this time against Israel. Aviv warns, if IDF patterns in southern Syria don't change, another deadly incident is inevitable, and likely far worse. Syria. Earlier tonight, firefights erupted in the town of Beit Jan between Sunni terrorists and IDF fighters conducting an arrest raid. Syrian reports confirmed 2 terrorists killed, including a groom married earlier that evening, with others wounded in artillery and airstrikes. 6 IDF soldiers were injured, at least 3 seriously during the clash. This is the first incident since Assad's fall where IDF fighters were wounded in direct combat with Sunni terrorists in southern Syria. Only the 3rd time ever that fire was directed at IDF soldiers in the Bashan. The incident is ongoing. Lebanon's Al-Akhbar newspaper, close to Hezbollah, reports that U.S. envoy Tom Barak delivered 6 conditions Lebanon must accept to avoid war with Israel. 1. Admit the October 27th ceasefire has failed. 2. Begin direct talks with Israel under U.S. sponsorship. No more technical talks. 3. Lebanon can gain more through direct negotiation than through mediators. 4. Time to eliminate the Hezbollah military situation, turning Hezbollah into a political party through a massive Arab-funded reconstruction package. 5. Hezbollah must formally agree to disarm under U.S. supervision, beginning with a declaration renouncing military action against Israel. 6. Lebanon's political parties must comply with IMF demands to begin a nationwide anti-corruption program. Sky News Arabia reports that Cairo talks included a proposal allowing Hamas terrorists in Gaza to temporarily keep their light weapons. The idea of Hamas transforming into a purely political party was not raised. Delegations from Qatar, Turkey, Egypt, and the U.S. participated. Discussions focused on Stage 2 of the ceasefire and Hamas's weapons. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Atti warned Lebanon that an Israeli military operation, air and ground, is now almost inevitable. The only solution, he said, is Hezbollah obeying the Lebanese government. Al Jazeera reports that Red Cross teams, together with Hamas, will resume searching for the body of an Israeli fallen hostage in Gaza City's Zaytun neighborhood. Released terrorists housed in Egyptian hotels are now complaining. They say life under supervision feels like a prison, with movement restricted and every outing requiring permits. They demand permanent housing in Egypt, or another country of their choice. They also demand pressure to open the Allenby crossing for more than 100 families of deported prisoners. So far, no agreement has been reached. Arab media report the Houthis are expanding smuggling networks to obtain weapons and sensitive equipment, entering a new stage of military organization. Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesman Majed al-Ansari warned that Israel must not be allowed to interfere with the ceasefire agreement. He stressed that normalization with Israel will only happen within a solution to the Palestinian issue. He said Qatar's efforts aim to move from stage 1 to stage 2 of the agreement and achieve a stable peace. But he admitted, retrieving the remaining bodies is extremely difficult, and there is no clear answer whether failure to return them will halt the process. He emphasized, the agreement must move forward regardless. Israel today faces enemies above ground, below ground, and inside the system itself. But Israel does not break. Stay tuned, stay informed, and don't forget to subscribe for more real updates from Israel and beyond.